We started a coffee company at 25, and here's 5 lessons that we've learned in 5 years. The first lesson is that vision is spelled M-O-N-E-Y. In other words, as you're building your business, you just have to take into account that it's probably going to cost you something. And for us, when we started, we had $0, but we had a big vision of knowing we wanted to leave something for our family and we wanted to build something that was ours. And so at one point we had no money in the bank, but we had enough faith and I think a high risk tolerance to say, okay, let's take the first step. And we ended up taking out a personal loan of $35,000. And that was how our journey began. But it was by actually taking the first step of understanding that in order to accomplish a vision, we were going to need funds. And at first we tried to seek investors and we talked with family members, but when it wasn't happening, we were like, okay, we're going to have to figure this out for ourselves. We ended up finding a personal loan that was at a crazy high interest rate. But like I said, we were just dumb and naive enough to take the first risk, and our monthly payment was doable. We mapped out how much business we'd have to do to make that monthly payment, and it was all worth it. But knowing that you're going to start a business means knowing it's going to cost you and you have to spend money to make money. All the annoying cliches that business people say are just true. And 5 years later, I can tell you that vision is absolutely spelled M-O-N-E-Y. Number 2 is that building a business takes a village. I think anything in your life is better in community. Like you hear raising a child takes a village. And when you're young and married, it's good to have other married friends that are, in your corner. For sure, having a business, it takes a village. There's no one person who is skilled in every skill set. So for us, I know that my lane, so to speak, in business is really like being the strategist and coming up with the plan for marketing or where our next steps as a company. But I also know that my strengths are not in brand design, in graphic design, in overall aesthetics. And so I need to lean on people, our business partners, who are really strong in that area. Or the other weakness that I have is just general day-to-day coffee operations. My husband, he is incredible. His name is Quigley. He is the coffee guru. He cares about, altitude above sea level, that coffee was grown on mountains. He cares deeply about coffee. And so just understanding that his lane is operations and coffee information and knowledge and staying up to date with technology. And my lane is really kind of the boring behind the scenes HR, payroll, admin stuff. But this is my lane. This is what I do. And then having other people who can assist in the areas that we're weak. And if you're going to be building a business, you're just going to end up needing to lean on other people because teamwork makes the dream work. And it's just true. No one person can do it all. That's why working with people in your village can really set you up for success. It's also what makes our franchise offering so special because we know that no one can do this by themselves. And when you choose to own your own coffee cart as a Quigley Coffee Cart franchisee, you are equipped with an entire team that's ready to assist you. You're equipped with the brand designing team, you're equipped with the operations team, you're equipped with the business side, so you don't have to worry about any of this on your own. And that's why we're proud to announce that we are the most affordable coffee franchise where you can launch a coffee cart business that's plug and play in 90 days and be fully equipped with a team that's ready to assist you. If you want to know more, make sure you click the link below and we'd love to connect with you. Number 3 is recognizing that everything is going to take you twice as long and cost you twice as much. This is something that we really experienced when we had opened up our coffee cart business and we were like, okay, we want to eventually expand into the brick and mortar space. And we naively thought that we could open up a 1,700 square foot restaurant in 6 months. Now, mind you, we thought that because we were told that by the person that we were negotiating leases with, but at the time it seemed really feasible. Fast forward 14 months later, what was originally going to cost us a $72,000 build out ended up being $135,000, and what was going to take 6 months ended up taking 14 months. And this was 4 years ago. Today, these numbers are probably double or triple because inflation's just been crazy. But just knowing that whatever you go into with expectations, you need to plan for it to take twice as long and cost twice as much. And for us, that meant that we had to pivot some of our catering because in the meantime of our restaurant build out, we needed to keep revenue coming in and increase our catering packages. And this actually really helped us build our catering model that positioned us to be able to thrive while the coffee cafe is working on its own. But it still costed more than we anticipated and took more time than we anticipated. And on this side of it, now we know that when it comes to planning ahead, we need to actually create margin that allows for it to cost more and take double the time. Number 4, the fourth lesson that I've learned in the last 5 years is that I'm really trying to figure out where my time is most valuable. In other words, so many business owners get so stuck working in their business that they never have time to work on it. And for me, I know that I only have a limited amount of hours because my husband and I serve in our local church and we have children, and there's only so many hours in a day, and I don't really want our work and, home life to mix all the time. And so knowing that I only have a limited amount of hours, the question that I've had to ask myself over and over again is, what am I doing that only I can do? And what am I doing that someone else can do? And leadership really is not about being an all-star at everything, but it's knowing how to delegate and how to train other leaders up to take on more tasks that equip them to use their giftings. And so this has been something that I've been figuring out, is really what areas of our business require my attention and my time, and what can I let go of that somebody else can do? Now, as a business owner, you might be watching this and going, that sounds great, but it definitely means that I'm going to have to pay somebody, and I don't have money to pay someone. And I would just say you have to really decide where the priority lies, because my guess is that if you're working in your business, that it's not going to be able to grow beyond you. And that's the part that's scary, is knowing that businesses that thrive are not based on one person. They're not built around one person, but they're built around systems that are replicable. And at some point, you're going to have to remove yourself as the business owner and replace yourself so that you can be building your business while other people are operating it. And if you're like me, I also didn't have a lot of money to spend, if any, on hiring other people. And so I would lean on people that were eager, that were hungry to work hard, that were humble, and that were smart, but maybe they didn't have the experience in this specific area that I was looking for. And I'm able to tap them on the shoulder and pay them a lesser price than somebody that's an expert in the field, but they're able to work on it. And every week they get better and better and better. And eventually you have a team of people who are loyal to you because you took a chance on them. But it also does mean that you're kind of maybe moving slower as you're teaching them those areas of expertise. All of it to say, there are ways for you as a business owner to build your team that works for you, but it's going to require you removing yourself from actually working in the business. So one more time, that question is, what are you doing that only you can do? And what are you doing that somebody else can do? And what changes do you need to make that happen? Number 5 is that small businesses have big business problems, and big businesses have the same big business problems. A couple years ago, I did a small group where I actually gathered business owners that were married, and it was called Married to My Business Partner. And we read this book that was explaining about how married couples basically separate, their marriages from being business partners. And in this book, the company that we're reading about was multi-million-dollar company, and that had high payroll every single week. And first chapter, they're opening up and they talk about basically, we don't know how we're going to make payroll this week. And I remember at that point in our business feeling like, oh my gosh, we don't know how we're going to make payroll this week. And there was a part of me that was relieved to see that somebody else was feeling the same thing. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. This is, a regular business owner experience. But also not relieved to know that this is a multi-million-dollar company that has the exact same problems, just on a much bigger scale. Our payroll is a couple thousand, their payroll is hundreds of thousands of dollars, but the feeling of not being able to make payroll is the same. And the more that you're in business, the more that you realize that the problems are consistent no matter your business size. It's the systems, the ability to navigate through the problems is what's going to anchor you to finish well. And businesses need leaders who know how to navigate through the problems, not leaders who yell at the problems or just acknowledge them. You have to really be able to navigate what the next step is and lead with a calm, consistent, countenance, because all of us are feeling the same thing, but vision and hope will keep driving you forward. And then just having wisdom in your decision making. There are some times that you just have to make hard decisions, that you have to cut things off so that other things can grow. It's the analogy of pruning a plant. It just happens with everybody. And business is business. Sometimes we make it more emotional, but if it's just business, business is business, and you need to get rid of things that aren't working and maximize on the things that are. Here's a bonus lesson that I've learned in 5 years of business ownership. I think that building a business without faith will ultimately lead to depression because it's hard. Like, building a business is hard, and you need people around you who are going to help sharpen your faith and who are going to encourage you when you feel like quitting and when you need a miracle. It's so helpful to have not just the people around you, but also to know that God is in your corner, that God is breathing on your business, and that He's aware of what you need. And there have been so many times in our company where we have had to fully rely on God's intervention, and down to the minute has He intervened every single time. And we've watched Him really perform thousands and thousands of miracles in the last 5 years of our company. But it has been the thing that has kept us close and has absolutely kept us going. And so I'd encourage you, if you're a business owner and you're not attending a local church, or you're looking for somebody to pray with you, like, get connected in a life-giving, Jesus-centered church, and make sure that you're not doing this by yourself. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like this content. And if you're thinking about starting your own coffee cart business, we would love to connect with you and continue building our coffee cart community. And be sure to subscribe so that you can follow along as we build our franchise company in real time. And you can witness all of our big wins and our big losses as we document the whole journey. We'll see you in our next video.